Hey guys, it's Bethany, your crafty BFF, and today I am on with a tutorial. Before I want to get started, I want to give credit where credit is due. This is a larger version, okay? So, a larger version of a tutorial done by Jen Castell here on YouTube. She has a tutorial on her channel called Large Suitcase, and I followed that design to a T. I just increased the measurements so that it is larger. Now, I don't know what her end size comes out to be, but it is smaller. Mine measures 8 inches long by 6 inches tall, and it is 3 inches deep. Okay, you will need 12 by 12 cardstock to do this tutorial. And yeah, I will link the original tutorial down below. Like I said, I want to give credit where credit is due. This is Jen Castell's original design. I just made it larger. Sometimes I do that. I find really cute projects that I want to do, but I just want to make them bigger. So that's what we've done here today. This suitcase, like I said, is 6 by 8 by 3. It opens up like this, and it, as you can see, it holds up quite a lot of stuff and has room for a little more even. I made this for a swap. I used the Rosie Studios collection called Pocket. No, not Pocket. Forget Me Not. It's called Forget Me Not. It's their brand new collection. And I'm going to use a different collection for the tutorial version, but I just thought I'd show you this one as an example. This is going to be quite a long tutorial, I believe, so let's go ahead and get started. You're going, here, I always like to show the measurements. That way you can screenshot them or pause the video and write them down. So there's this page, and then we have a second page of directions as well. And I will go over all these directions with you. Okay, so for the base of the suitcase, you need 2 pieces of 9 inches by 11 inches. This is gonna make your boxes. If you have 110-pound cardstock, I highly suggest you use that, but I don't currently have any 12 by 12 110-pound cardstock, so I am using 65-pound cardstock, and I've done all of these solid color mats in a pink cardstock to make it extra sturdy. Now, if you have 110-pound cardstock, you can totally skip the cardstock mats that I'm putting on the inside and outside of the cover, or of the suitcase. But if you're working with 65-pound, then I highly suggest that you do mat the inside and outside with at least, the matting layers on the inside and outside. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. You'll need your scoreboard after you cut your 2 pieces of 9 inches by 11 inches. And what we're going to do is score at 1.5 inches on all 4 sides. Okay, so you can start on the 11-inch side, score at 1.5, flip it, 1.5, flip it again, 1.5, and flip it the 4th time, and 1.5. So you're going to do that to both pieces of your 9 by 11, 1.5, 1.5, 1.5, and 1.5. Get rid of that scoreboard for a momento. And we're going to fold and crease all of our score lines. If you hear Maddie in the background, she's home from school today because we overslept. Oops. That happens sometimes. And then I don't have a way to get her to school because she rides the bus and she's in a wheelchair and all that good stuff. So sorry if you hear her talking in the background. I think she just wants to say hi today. Okay, so once you've folded and creased all of your score lines, we are going to make our boxes. I just had my scissors. I always do this in tutorials, don't I? I'm never prepared. Oh, Lord. I see my daughter stole them. I got them. I found them. Okay. So, if you've ever made a box before, I'm sure you know what to do, but we're going to cut on these score lines up to the crossing score line. So just like that, and then I just kind of miter that corner tab, and then I slightly miter this side as well to make a little tab and make sure it doesn't overlap when we put it together. So I'm going to cut straight up on that line to the crossing line, and then slight miter, and if you don't know what a miter cut is, it's just a slightly angled cut to make it a tab. Flip it around and do the same thing. I'm doing this on the 11-inch side. And then like that, and like that. Okay. Do the same thing to the second piece of 9x11. The snippy snips, as I call them. So you just make that little square into a tab. We can get rid of all of our little pieces. And let's construct our box. So you're just going to take your little tab. You're going to add your glue to the tab. And then bring it up at the same time you're bringing this side up to connect them together, like so. Just press that down until it's nice and stuck. Like I said, I'm using this flimsy 65-pound cardstock, but I like a sturdy project, so I did take the time to cut out all of the matting layers for the inside and outside of my suitcase. Just adding my glue to the tab and bringing it up to form this little box. And then this last tab here, same deal, bring it up and attach it to the side. And you should have something that looks like this. Kind of like a tray or a half of a box. Okay, do the same thing to your other 9x11 that we scored and cut. Making sure your corners are nice and at a 90-degree angle the best you can. there is a piece that I did not cut in advance, and we're going to cut that together, and that's our connector piece. But first, we're going to skip to the end of our instructions here, and we're going to do these corner pieces because I really think that it helps to make this project a lot sturdier. So you need a piece of 11 inches by 1 inches, and you're going to score at a 1/2 inch. So you're going to have your 11 by 1 inch, and you're going to put it on the 1 inch side and score at 1/2 inch all the way down. And you should have something that looks like this. And then we're going to cut this into 8 pieces that are about 3/8 of an inch tall. Or, I'm sorry, 1 3/8 of an inch tall. We might need a second piece now that I think about it. Okay. What I'm going to do is just cut this about 1.5 inches. And I'm going to use these as corner supports. So it's just going to go here in the corner like so. And you, like I said, you need 8 pieces. I'm just guesstimating about an inch and a half, a little under an inch and a half, 1 3/8. But if you want to be accurate about it and you know, cut them at 1 3/8 inch on your trimmer, you can definitely do that. That gives me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I do need one more. Let me get that real quick. So I'm just going to cut this at 1 inch. Get my scoreboard, and on the 1 inch side, score at 1/2 inch. Fold and crease that, and then just guesstimating about 1.5 inches. We're going to add these supports to the inside corners like so. This one's a little too long, but you just want to put glue on both sides and then put these in the corner, all 8 corners. Jen did this, and it really does make the suitcase feel a lot more sturdy, especially if you're using 65-pound cardstock. Joann's is the only one I know of that carries 110-pound 12 by 12 inch cardstock, and I have not been able to find it in any of the Joann stores lately. I could probably order it online, but I hate ordering from Joann's, so there is that. I just don't trust their shipping. In fact, before last Christmas, I ordered a paper pad from Joann's, and to this day, I still have not gotten it. And I should probably complain, but, you know, I'm too busy. Okay, adding these little corner supports. And I lost one, so I'm going to cut another. Make sure it fits in there, and it does. Like I said, this is an easy project, but there are a lot of steps. So it does take, I think it's going to be a longer tutorial. Okay, now that we have our corner supports in, we can cut our adjoining piece. Now I call this the connector piece. And the connector piece is 7.5 inches by 2 7/8 inches. So I'm going to do 2 7/8, just under 3 inches by 7.5 inches. And then we're going to score this in half at 1 3/8 inches. Ooh, throwing my stuff around. So 1 3/8 inches, which is right before the 1.5 inches. You can fold and varnish that. You can see it'll be a little bit off, but that's totally fine. One side is a little bit longer than the other, but that's okay. It's totally okay. And all we're gonna do is put these two boxes together like so on this 8-inch side, and you're going to place this inside like so. So it's like a mountain, and we're just gonna place it like so, and that is our connector piece. So add your glue to both sides of your score mark. Like so, making sure this is lined up nice and straight. And then we're just going to put this connector in the middle. It's about a 1/2 inch shorter than the suitcase side, so you want to leave about a 1/4 inch on each side, so it's right in the middle, right? So there should be about a 1/4 inch on this side of the connector and a 1/4 inch on this side of the connector. It doesn't have to be perfect. You just want to put it as close as you can in the middle, and then it will close like so. Okay. Now let's work on the inside matting pieces, because like I said, this is 65-pound cardstock, not very sturdy. And I like a sturdy project. So what I've done is cut all of these mats out in a pink cardstock. I'm going to mat the inside in pink cardstock and the outside in pink cardstock. And then I have designer paper that I'm going to put on the outside only, so it is going to be nice and sturdy. I gave you the measurements for the plain color cardstock here, and the designer paper measurements here. And like I said, this is just for the outside of the suitcase. Unless you want to do designer paper on the inside and outside, that's totally up to you. Then you would just double the amount of mats here. Okay, so for the inside, my pink cardstock, we have 4 pieces of 5 7/8 by 7 7/8, 5 7/8 by 7 7/8, and we're just going to glue them in. You could totally, if you wanted, you could skip the pink cardstock, you know, like the solid color cardstock altogether, and just do designer paper on the inside and outside. But I didn't have a bunch of designer paper to do the inside and outside, so that's why I chose to do the pink cardstock on the inside. And then I did the pink cardstock on the outside as well, just to give it another layer to make it sturdy. And I like the way it looks. I'll show you here in just a second. Okay, so for your, I should before I glue this down, I should tell you that you need 8 pieces that are 5 7/8 by 1 3/8, and those are for your shorter sides here on the inside, like so. Let me show you this real quick. See, I did matte with pink cardstock and designer paper because I like the look on the outside that gives. If you can see that, just that 1/8 of an inch of the pink cardstock sticking out all around the designer paper. I just like that look. Totally not necessary, but just thought I'd add my 2 cents why I did that. And the more layers you have, the sturdier your project will be. So this is another 5 7/8 by 1 3/8. We've got this one here. You might skip the part where I'm just gluing paper to, you know, gluing cardstock to other cardstock. That might be kind of boring to watch, but I want to make sure I show exactly what I'm doing. And then you need 4 pieces for the inside and 4 pieces for the outside if you're doing the pink card, the solid color cardstock. That is 7 7/8 by 1 3/8, and that's for your long sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then of course for the outside as well. But right now we're just doing the inside. So these are 7 7/8 by 1 3/8. If I can pick it up. And if you're doing 110-pound cardstock, you don't even have to do this matting part if you don't want. Like I said, it's just because I know I'm showing you how to do it, because 110-pound 12 by 12 cardstock is hard to find to make the base of your project. Anyways. That one, and we got one more for the inside. Again, that's 7 7/8 by 1 3/8. And it makes it solid, and it covers all the little connector pieces in the corners and where we put the box together, so you get a nice pretty look on the inside as well. But that's up to you. Okay, so now I'm going to do the pink on the outside of the box. So again, I just have 2 pieces of the 5 7/8 by 7 7/8 in the pink cardstock. Because I like the layered matted look of the pink with the designer paper on top for the outside. There's that one. 5 7/8 by 7 7/8. I'll just keep saying the measurements because I don't know what else to say. For the sake of the tutorial, I did not sew my designer paper for the tutorial, but you can see I did sew this designer paper. So if you do want to add that stitching, make sure you stitch the designer paper layers before you glue them down. Okay. Now we're back to the 7 7/8 by 1 3/8 for the outside of the suitcase for the longer sides. Sometimes it's hard to get them lined up right. And make sure you get glue on the corners so they stick down nicely. Like this guy's trying to pop up here. Not having that. Not today, Satan. Not today. Okay. And then this for right here. Adding some glue to where my paper is trying to pop up. I didn't glue it well enough. And then we do these two long sides here. These are also 7 7/8 by 1 3/8. One more here. You can see mine's off a little bit, and that's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's still gonna close, open and close fine. It's just a little bit off. And then I have 4 more pieces that are 5 7/8 by 1 3/8 for the shorter sides. We're almost done with this part. Like I said, you can totally skip over this part. It will not hurt my feelings. I'm just gluing paper to other paper. And then this side, again, 5 7/8 by 1 3/8. Last one, yay! Sorry, I knocked the tripod. I'm really close to to the camera. There we go. Just like that. And now we can add our designer paper to the suitcase. Excuse me while I take a drink. I did print out some digital papers from Garden Party. And if you're doing the pink cardstock, like I said, those layers, I gave you the measurements for those. And then for the designer paper, you're going to make it just 1/8 of an inch smaller. So it's 5 3/4 by 7 3/4 for the 2 side pieces. And you definitely want to, if you want to add your stitching, do that before you glue this down. I'm not doing the stitching for the sake of the tutorial, and I'm lazy. I could have done it before I started filming, but I was too lazy. So this one, again, is 5 3/4 by 7 3/4. And it'll give just that 1/8 of an inch pink border all the way around the designer paper. Because it's just 1/8 of an inch smaller than the pink cardstock. Okay. For the longer sides, you need 4 pieces of 7 3/4 by 1 1/4. Gluing, 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 lots of gluing. I know, I'm a dork. I know. And it's okay. This is my, well, one of my favorite ever floral designer papers from Maggie Holmes. I love this. I think this design is underrated. I love the pinks and the blues and the yellows all together. And the minty green, of course. Okay. One more of the 7 3/4 by 1 1/4 on the longer side. Oh, don't drop it, Bethany. And then the shorter sides, you need 4 pieces of 5 3/4 by 1 1/4. I've got those ready to go here. Just adding my glue off camera. And then centering this the best I can. Here's one side done. Let's do this side. We're not doing too bad. I'm only at 32 minutes. Next, we are going to work on the straps. For the straps, okay, there's that. Looking good, if I do say so myself. For the straps, you need 4 pieces. Why do I only have 3 here? Where did my 4th one go? Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. Maybe I didn't cut a 4th one because I don't see it anywhere. All right, well, let's cut one together. Just bear with me, guys. Okay, so you need 4 pieces that are, what I did is I did the strap and the pink cardstock. And it is 1 1/4 inch wide by 11 inches long. So you want to cut that. You need 4 of these at 1 1/4 by 11. And then you need your designer paper, the matting pieces. Those are going to be 1 inch by 10 7/8 of an inch. So let me show you. The straps are 11 inches by 1 1/4 inches, and I lied. You need 4 of those, not 2. And then for the mats, you need 10 7/8 by 1 inches. Okay? Make sure you sew those matting layers if you want to before you glue them down to the pink cardstock. And you're just going to glue your matting layer to your pink cardstock. I like to do the pink cardstock and the matting layer so that the straps are nice and sturdy. And I like the way it looks with the 1/4 inch border. Okay, there's that. And we're going to do it the same way that Jen did in her video. So you're going to start here on the bottom of your suitcase, and you're just And I'm going to eyeball it, but if you want, you can totally measure like 1 inch from the outside. In fact, let's just go ahead and do it so I can show you how. So you're just going to do about 1 inch from the outside, and that's where you will place your strap, and you're just going to bend it over the corner like so. You can add your glue there. And I'm just eyeballing it here. Okay. Glue that down, and you bent it on that corner, and then you're going to come up to this side and you're going to bend on this corner. Okay? And then you want to bend on this corner, and that is where you're going to cut it off. I'm going to go ahead and add my glue. Like this, and then press it down so it sticks. And that is sticking over a little bit, so I'm just going to trim it off with my scissors. Now, I just realized I did the same thing I did on this one. Okay, you don't have to put it on the bottom. In fact, the second one you don't put on the bottom because you need it to be long enough to come over this side and Velcro down. So if you haven't already glued it down, don't glue down on the bottom. Just do starting here. So let me take the second one and show you what I mean. In fact, let's just do them like, let's just do it the same. Okay. So for these two, you're going to have them on the bottom. You don't have to. You can definitely just start here and not have anything on the bottom of your suitcase. Nobody's going to see it anyways. But because I'm picky, I'm going to do it this way because I can't have one side on the bottom and not the other. So I guess I'm eyeballing about 1 inch from the outside. I glued that down, and then I bent it around the corner, and then I'm gonna bend this one around the corner, and then bend it right here because that's where we cut it off. Add my glue. Have to add some more glue down here because it's trying to come off. Sorry for the brain fart. A mistake. We all make mistakes, but that's okay. Nobody's going to look at the bottom of the suitcase anyway, so you can choose to do the one side down here or just start it here on the side. That's up to you. But for the other side of our suitcase, we are not going to put this bottom part here. We're going to start right here. So let me get my little piece here. I'm going to eyeball about 1 inch from the side. And then I want to make sure it lines up with this guy. So, like I said, I'm not doing the bottom here because I want it to come around and be able to Velcro to this side. Because that's how it's going to close. So I'm starting here, bending on this corner here, and then bending on this corner here. I'm gonna add my glue. Only adding glue to this side. Don't add glue to this part. Once that, what I mean is after your first crease here, don't put glue here because that's how it's gonna open, right? So just on this long side here. Like so. And then we take our fourth one. And again, we're gonna start from right here. Eyeballing about 1 inch from the outside. Creasing on the corners. And adding glue just to this long side, up to that first crease that we made. Pressing that down. And voila. This is how we're going to attach. We're going to put our Velcro dots here. Let me get those. I only have these pink ones right now, so we're going to use these. Anytime you use a Velcro dot, I always insist that you add adhesive because the adhesive that comes on them is not reliable and it will come apart. So I add just a dab of glue there before I lay it down. And then a dab of glue on the other one, and then we're going to close it and we're going to leave it. Do not try to unvelcro it before that glue has a chance to dry. I'd say give it at least a good 5 minutes to dry before you unvelcro it. I'm going to get my second one here. And we're going to add our little bit of glue. Put it right there. Add a little bit of glue to the other side. And then line this up. And don't try to unvelcro it. Give it a good 5 minutes. Set that aside and we'll work on our handle. This is the last step, guys. So you need a piece of pink cardstock for your handle. Ooh, I'm throwing stuff. That's 6 inches by 1 1/4 inches. Okay, 6 inches by 1 1/4 inches. Get your scoreboard back out, and we're going to score at 1 inch and at 5 inches. Fold those, and then you also want to, between the two scores, curl your handle so that it looks something like that. I hope I made this long enough. Oh Lord, now I'm thinking I didn't make it long enough. I did not make it long enough. Okay, scratch that. It's not 6 by 1 or 6 by 1 1/4. We're gonna do 1 1/4. I'm sorry, guys. Second mistake in this tutorial. 1 1/4. That's 1 1/2. We're gonna do 1 1/4. I gotta laugh at myself, right? 1 1/4, and we're gonna do, let's do 8. Okay, 1 1/4 for your handle. Scratch that. Scratch that. We're gonna do 8 by 1 1/4. And then we're still gonna score at 1 and at 7. And we're going to fold those scores and curl in between the scores so that you have a piece that looks like this. Now you can totally just leave the handle like this, or you can add a matting piece. The matting piece will be 5 and 7/8 of an inch. So let me cut that. 5 and 7/8 of an inch by 1. And then that will fit right there on these, on the inside of the score lines. So let me glue that down. We're almost done, guys. Almost done. I've only made the suitcase once, so forgive me for all the mistakes. And it's been a few days since I made it, so okay. There's that. And what we're gonna do is add our the little 1-inch score marks that we made on each end. We're gonna add them to this. Now you can glue them. In fact, I recommend that you glue them first. So just add glue to your little 1-inch score marks here on each end. And then glue those down like so to each of the straps. So you're gluing it onto the straps. And then for extra security, I recommend using some brads. Let me get my brads out here. I'm just using 2 regular gold brads. I'm gonna get my pokey tool. One of my pokey tools that someone sent me. I'm going to carefully remove this Velcro since I'm not, look, it still didn't stick. I'm gonna have to fix that. But now that this is up, I'm gonna take my pokey tool and eyeball the center to poke a hole there, going through the strap. If you can see that, my pokey tool through the strap, and then just add the brad through. And open it up. Now, if you want, you can totally mat this part here to cover up the brad. I wasn't so worried about that part, but if you want to be a little extra, and you can totally just mat that part so that the underside of the brad isn't showing through. So I'm just poking, using my pokey tool and poking a hole through the center on this side and adding my second brad. Come on, you can do it. Okay, there we go. And that's how it'll look. Like I said, you can totally just add a piece of paper over that so you don't see the undersides of the brads. But that is our larger 6 by 8 by 3 inches deep suitcase. There's room down here to decorate if you so choose. It opens like so. And that will do it for this tutorial. Like I said, I want to give credit where credit's due, so thank you to Jen for this original design. It's a really easy, fun 3D project to make, and I appreciate the original design. I just made it a little bigger. So if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them in the comments down below, and I will get back to you. If you have any troubleshooting issues, you can contact me on Instagram. I'm your_crafty_BFF over there as well. I'd be happy to help you. If you have, yeah, so that does it, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great day. Bye.